So yesterday here in Austin, man, we had 3 individuals who lost their lives senselessly, probably 10 minutes away from where I am right now, down in Austin. And a guy went to a Target. He, shot at some people there, carjacked folks, did some assault, all types of things. And they ended up finding the guy like in South Austin, in the middle of the road, butt naked, with a Bible saying he's Jesus Christ. Now, listen to something like that, man, you think, man, that's crazy, but it's not crazy. It's true. There are people with serious mental health issues out here, and the problem is only getting worse. Now, we'll say this. With that gentleman who committed that heinous crime yesterday, I'm not saying he had mental health issues. I'm only repeating to you what the officials said. They said he definitely has had some mental health issues in the past. So, he was on their radar. They've had interactions with him. My thing is this, it's always after the fact when you say, oh, he's had interactions with us. He had these mental health issues. Well, at what point were you going to raise the flag? At what point were you going to raise the flag? Because, I saw the police chief, I think yesterday, one of the police officials. She looked like she was kind of upset about it, saying that, somebody failed him in the system and da-da-da-da. She's a part of the system too. The police department is part of the system. They have power. They've got leverage. That police chief could have been notified this individual's on our radar and can we do this? And she could have got the feds involved and shut this down and shut that down and yada yada. And hell, damn near have him instituted. But they don't want to go that far. It takes too much time. But she said the system failed him. And she's a part of the same system. And I'm not trying to knock her. I'm just trying to say that what she's saying is just like, police, prison, jails, it's all the same system. And now in America, they got mental health a part of that system, which is crazy because it shouldn't be. You got mental health a part of the penal system. That's crazy, man. Mental health is a place to be, that's for treatment. Those are people that need treatment, not jail or incarceration. But that's the way we treat them here in the U.S., man. That's why we have a crisis, a mental health crisis in the U.S. And you go to any homeless encampment, any homeless gathering, what have you, a significant majority of them are suffering mental health issues. And mental health, if y'all don't understand, doesn't just always just stay the same. Oftentimes it gets worse. And it gets worse depending on the environment you're in. But there's definitely a mental health crisis here in the U.S. And I think those in power know that, but they could care less. But you let one of their kids have a mental health issue and find out what happens. They hurry up and get them some private treatment in some California little retreat or something like that, and some Zen meditation thing, because little Johnny or little Susie is a little depressed. I'm not knocking them if they got the means to do it, by all means. But some of these same people are in positions to make laws and policies that can keep some of these people off the streets, these people with the mental health crisis. Instead of, policies and really, but man, it points people with mental health in the direction of the penal system, in the prison system. Jail is full of them. It's full of them. I talked to people who've been to jail, man, and who've been caught up in the system, man. They said you couldn't imagine, man. Some of these people, even the prisoners in there, are saying this person has no damn business in prison. It's just the craziest thing. But that's the way, again, how we treat mental health here in the U.S. And it is a business. It is a big business because you better believe that insurance companies don't like to really cover mental health. Isn't that interesting? They don't cover it. Mental health is expensive. Therapy is expensive. Psychotherapy, all that good stuff. Mental health is something that I have a love of. I've always had a love of mental health. But I don't like the way that mental health, for the most part, is painted as this thing that you shouldn't be afraid of, and don't have a stigma behind mental health. But at the same time, they create the stigma behind mental health because they make it so expensive, number one. And they make mental health, they always align mental health with crime, with crime for some reason, rather than aligning it with a medical condition that just needs to be treated. But unfortunately, that's what happens when it's not treated. It turns into a crime. Y'all see where I'm going with that? So mental health is a serious thing. It's not something to take lightly. Like I said, the gentleman yesterday, they said he definitely has some previous mental health issues. But that does not mean that was the case yesterday. He could have ingested some drugs, or who knows? Psychotic break, who knows what happened to that dude. But one thing is for sure, there are 3 people not alive today that should be. One of these folks was a grandfather and his 4-year-old granddaughter who died on the scene by their vehicle. And it's just a shame. It's a shame. And the police chief, like she said, the system failed him by, I guess she did her little research and saw where some flags should have been raised, or he should have had a high level of care. Well, my thing is this. Why is it we always wait till something happens till we start saying all this stuff? We know these people are walking around out here. You know they're walking around out here. You know they're walking around out here because you have direct interactions with them. The police departments, you know what I'm saying? The ambulance drivers who have to go around and deal with people who have OD'd or on drugs, things like that in the streets, who are used to these homeless encampments and different things like that. They know these people that are there. They know they're there. But they choose to take the knee-jerk reaction approach. Let's just wait till something horrific happens, or wait till they do something that's worthy of our attention before we take action. And after yesterday, now they decide to take action. So the gentleman was arrested. It wasn't too hard to find him because he had erratic behavior from North Austin all the way to South Austin. Just straight erratic behavior, jacking people, carjacking, assaults, flipping cars, just all types of stuff. And then again, they found him in the middle of the road in South Austin, butt naked with the Bible saying he's Jesus. Please, 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 y'all, think differently about mental health. Please understand it is a crisis. Please understand that we are in the middle of this crisis. Y'all take care. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media.